Well, moving on to a different London team now. A team that you've been big on,
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea, who had a big fixture against Manchester City. Going in, Tuchel, 3 games unbeaten against Pep Guardiola, but it's Pep this time that comes out on top, the Gabriel Jesus winner. And I heard something interesting in the fallout of that game, which was Mark Lukaku, handle him and you handle Chelsea. Do the other attacking options on Chelsea's side have to kind of contribute more and get involved more? I watched Timo Werner struggle again. I wasn't very impressed by him, but who else can stand up and help Lukaku out?
Thomas Tuchel keeps trying to make Timo Werner happen, and I don't think Timo Werner is happening. Um, it's interesting the formation he started with in this fixture. He went for 3 in midfield, and traditionally the benefit of playing N'Golo Kante in your midfield is you no longer need 3 players in your midfield because he performs the defensive duties of 2 players at once. And that's how Leicester won the league, essentially. It was N'Golo Kante enabling them to play 4-4-2 and get away with it in modern football, which is, actually coming back a little bit into vogue lately, but, that's off topic. I don't like Timo Werner being the primary creative player and link between Lukaku and the rest of the team that was just defenders, essentially.
Yeah.
It was way too reactive, and it didn't give City enough to worry about in transition. So they were able to, like a kind of boa constrictor, slowly but surely take control of the game and hem Chelsea into their own penalty area. And it just seemed like a matter of time before a deflection or an own goal or just sheer law of averages from getting the ball in and around the box enough ended up with a Manchester City goal. And that's exactly what happened. I don't think benching Havertz was the right call. I don't think playing Timo Werner was the right call. I don't think changing the formation was the right call. So Guardiola got the better of him this time, but Tuchel is a smart enough coach to tweak things the next time they meet. And, City, they were impressive. It was a statement performance, and they did get the result. I'm still not totally convinced that they have the star power to win the Champions League this year. Very good chance that they'll win the league. But the Champions League, I'm not sure. It might just be beyond them.
And I think the biggest and most obvious hole, the lack of a striker since Kun Aguero left. And there was big talk on, obviously Harry Kane coming in, which never came about. And that's been the tough thing. And watching, I remember watching that first half and noticing like Gabriel Jesus being wide, Phil Foden drifting in and around as a false 9. But it was just obvious that they didn't have anyone that they could look towards and go in the same way that Chelsea look towards Lukaku now as that person that will score you the goals. Do they go for someone in January to fill that gap?
It would be pretty harsh on Gabby Jesus if they did, because he's actually playing quite well at the moment and he's scoring goals, and it is a bit of a vindication season for him after they tried so hard to sign someone in the transfer market and it didn't happen. They were linked with Haaland, they were linked with Vlahovic, they were linked with Ronaldo at the end there. There were a lot of options and they didn't end up going for them. And of course, the Harry Kane saga. I mean, he was the perfect Guardiola forward because he's kind of not a forward. It seems to be an ideological statement that Guardiola wants to win the Champions League without a striker and without a Messi. Because it seems to be like a proving ground for him, like, I don't need a striker to win. But, Spain already won a World Cup inspired by his football with a false 9. So
Yeah.
I think that battle's been won, and I don't think he has to be so ideologically resistant to the idea of a player whose only job it is to score goals. Look, if you can sign Erling Haaland, you sign Erling Haaland. I don't know if the timing is right. It means dealing with Mino Raiola, which is an experience that leaves everyone feeling a bit icky, but I would go for it if it's the right player. They are playing well at the moment. Gabby Jesus is having a bit of a return to form. But when he's through one-on-one with the one big chance to win the Champions League final, I don't know if I trust him with his finishing.
And on the flip side of that, we'll end this segment with this question. Having watched the first 6 match days, are Chelsea becoming too reliant on Lukaku to be their main source of goals, even though that's what he was signed for?
I don't think so. I think it was more to do with a lack of support for Lukaku and a lack of options to target other than Lukaku's feet, and he uses his, strength, physicality, and technique to shield the ball and play somebody else in. That can't be your only route to advancing the team up the field is Lukaku's hold-up play. It's funny that they're relying on it so much because at United, Lukaku was ridiculed for his lack of a first touch and his lack of ability to hold up the ball and play others in. But now Chelsea are saying this is our route to success. But I just think it was the 3-5-2 and Werner not really being a creative player. He's more somebody who runs in behind and presses. They need Havertz in the starting 11 or a Ziyech, someone, maybe a Pulisic. They've got so many options in the squad for creative players to fill those inside forward, attacking midfield positions in the 3-4-2-1. So I think they should go back to that, back to the formula that's proven so successful. And then maybe they'll be able to get Lukaku not just with his back to goal, but facing goal where he's most dangerous.
And I think the Timo Werner situation is a bit reminiscent of Lukaku at United. It might not just be the right fit, and he might just need to go to a different club where he could explode into the player that we know he's capable of being. Like, he tore up the Bundesliga.
I mean, we know how important confidence is in football, and he's just in his own head. And he might need a new environment to unlock that. Because there's no one who tries harder than Timo Werner, but sometimes you feel like he's trying too hard. And he's just a bit out of control. He's going too fast all the time. He's like Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like, got to go fast, got to go fast. But sometimes you got to take a deep breath and calm yourself down so you can actually perform the action that, your brain's traveling in 1,000,000 miles an hour and, your feet can't keep up.